In the flickering light of an old street lamp, a small boy sat on a cracked pavement, clutching a worn-out guitar that was nearly twice his size. His name was Elian, a 12-year-old boy from the slums of Manila. His fingers were rough, his clothes torn, and his eyes, though tired, still carried the quiet glow of a dream he refused to let die. Every night after selling candies near the bus terminal, Elian would sit beneath that same lamp, strumming his guitar. He didn't know who the Eagles were, but he'd memorized Hotel California from a phone video someone had shown him months ago. He couldn't understand all the words, but he felt them: the loneliness, the longing, the pain. Maybe because he lived them every day. His father had left years ago. His mother, a laundry worker, struggled to make enough for them to eat twice a day. But she never stopped believing in her son. One day, Enoch, she would whisper, "They'll hear your music and they will see your heart." Then came the day that changed everything. The city was buzzing with excitement. America's Got Talent had arrived in Manila for international auditions. The event was miles away, but Elian overheard two teenagers talking about it while buying candies from him. His heart skipped. He didn't even have shoes, but that night he walked barefoot to the audition venue, carrying his old guitar wrapped in plastic to protect it from the rain. He didn't have a registration ticket. The guards almost turned him away. But one woman from the staff, an assistant producer named Mara, noticed the boy's pleading eyes. "Please, ma'am," he said softly, his voice trembling. "I just want to sing just once." Something about his tone stopped her. She hesitated, then nodded. "Come with me." Backstage, surrounded by bright lights and expensive instruments, Elian felt invisible. Contestants were warming up with their coaches, dressed in designer clothes, chatting excitedly. Elian sat in a corner, hugging his guitar like a shield. When his name was finally called, his heart pounded so hard he could hear it echo in his ears. He stepped onto the grand stage barefoot, nervous, and alone. The audience murmured when they saw him. The judges, Simon Cowell, Sophia Vergara, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mondel, looked at the small boy with puzzled expressions. Simon leaned forward. "Hello there, young man. What's your name?" "Elian, sir." "And where are you from?" "From Manila. I sell candies, sir." A brief silence filled the hall. Simon's eyes softened just slightly. "All right, Elian. And what are you going to do for us today?" Elian took a deep breath. "I will sing Hotel California." Simon raised an eyebrow. "That's quite a big sign. Good luck." The first note echoed, fragile and trembling. But as the boy's fingers danced across the guitar strings, the hall grew still. His voice, soft, soulful, slightly cracked, floated through the air like a haunting memory. "On the dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair." The words came from deep within him, each line carrying the weight of nights spent hungry, the loneliness of missing a father, the hope of a boy singing to survive. When he reached the chorus, his voice broke slightly, but he didn't stop. Tears filled his eyes as he sang. "You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave." The guitar string snapped mid-note, a sharp ping echoing in the silence. Gasps rippled through the audience. Elian froze. His hands trembled. But then he looked up, wiped his tears, and kept singing the cappella. The crowd fell silent. No music. Just the raw, trembling voice of a boy pouring out his heart. Simon leaned back, his face unreadable. Heidi's hand went to her mouth. Sophia was already crying. When Elian finished, there was a long silence. Then one person in the back stood up. Then another. And another. Within seconds, the entire hall was on its feet, clapping, cheering, crying. Simon stood slowly, eyes glistening. "Elian," he said softly, "I've been judging shows for years. But I have never felt something like this." He looked down for a moment, then met the boy's eyes. "You didn't just sing a song. You told a story. And it's one the world needs to hear." Elian blinked, unsure what to say. Then Simon reached forward and slammed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti burst into the air. Elian covered his face as tears spilled down his cheeks. The audience screamed. Mara, watching from backstage, was crying uncontrollably. Simon walked up onto the stage, knelt beside Elian, and hugged him tightly. "You deserve this, son," he whispered. "You're not invisible anymore." News spread across the world. Poor street boy from Manila wins golden buzzer with emotional Hotel California rendition. Within days, Elian's video went viral, hundreds of billions of views. Donations poured in from around the globe. A music foundation sponsored his schooling. His mother, when she saw the video on a neighbor's phone, dropped to her knees in tears. Months later, Elian performed again in the semifinals, this time in Los Angeles. Dressed neatly, hair combed, a new guitar in his hands, he walked onto the same stage that had once terrified him. He glanced up at the lights, took a deep breath, and smiled. He was no longer the boy under the street lamp. He was Elian, the boy who turned pain into music, and loneliness into light. As the final note of his song faded, the audience erupted once more. Simon was visibly emotional. "You remind us," he said through tears, "why this show exists. Because sometimes, the most beautiful voices come from the most unexpected places." Elian looked into the camera and whispered, "For my mom, and for every kid out there who's scared to dream, don't stop.